Well, good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is Scott Manning coming to you live from Scott Manning YouTube Sports Talk. I want to thank all my viewers for being with me here this morning. I want to take some time because I got some predictions. I want to get you guys ready for the Major League Baseball season coming up, starting on Thursday. I'm making some predictions, and I'm going to see what you guys think. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. My name is Scott Manning. It's that very simple. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And let's have some fun. I got my predictions. I'm just going to go ahead and just go right into it. Now, with the Major League Baseball season starting here on Thursday, everybody's been asking the question, Scott, what are your predictions? Who do you think is going to win what division? Who do you think is going to win the wild card? Well, I've narrowed it down. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I've got a lot I want to talk about. I'm glad you guys asked me that. A lot of people, thank you for asking. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's going to be a great season. But first, the American League East. My prediction for the American League East, for the team that wins the AL East, is going to be the Boston Red Sox. Yes, I know the New York Yankees have a big payroll, but the Red Sox have the biggest payroll in all of baseball. They're the top of Major League Baseball with the biggest payroll. The Yankees are only 7th. Yes, I know the New York Yankees have Aaron Judge, and I know they got great pitching. They brag on that last thing. They talk about how great their pitching is. And they have Aaron Judge, I'll give you that. But the Boston Red Sox have Xander Bogaerts, Hanley Ramirez, and David Price. If Xander Bogaerts can find his rhythm, we'll be all right. If Hanley Ramirez can hit the ball, we'll be okay. If David Price can do a lot of damage, the Red Sox have a chance. So, a lot of people are saying the New York Yankees are going to win the AL East. I've got to go with the Boston Red Sox, based on what I've seen so far. Yes, I know the Yankees have Aaron Judge, I'll give you. But in the end, the Boston Red Sox will win the AL East. That's just me talking right now. Now, the American League Central. This is a no contest to me. The American League Central, I'm going to go with the Cleveland Indians. It's almost unanimous in the United States right now that the Cleveland Indians are going to win the American League Central because the only real competition they'll have is maybe the Minnesota Twins. And the Twins are not that much to brag about. Okay, I can tell you this firsthand. The Cleveland Indians will win the American League Central. Terry Francona's got his starters back. He's got everybody healthy. Now, the Indians last year, the Cleveland Indians had the best record in the American League. Unfortunately, they went out first round. They lost in the division series to the Yankees. However, the Indians will be back, loaded and ready to go. And I guarantee you, the Cleveland Indians will win the American League Central. And that's all there is to it. And Terry Francona said his team is ready. We'll have to wait and see on that. But for now, I'm sticking with the Cleveland Indians for winning the American League Central. That's all there is to it. The American League West. This one is another no-brainer. I'm going with the defending World Series champion, Houston Astros. If the Astros can keep Dallas Keuchel healthy, and if they can also keep Lance McCullers Jr. healthy, they got a chance. And also, too, they got George Springer. They got Jose Altuve. They can do a lot of damage, too. But the main thing is keep Lance McCullers Jr. and Dallas Keuchel healthy. The Astros will win the American League West because last year they ran away with it. And there was nobody they were up by 30 games when they won the American League West last year, if you remember right. And I'm going to be honest with you. And you could go to the bank with this. The Houston Astros will win the American League West, and they'll be back in the playoffs. Hopefully, we'll get that Cleveland-Houston matchup that we wanted last year. But it didn't happen. However, the Astros win the American League West, and that's all there is to it. Excuse me. And also, too, the American League wild cards. The American League wild card winners, they have it. Somebody else is saying it's going to be the Boston Red Sox and the Minnesota Twins winning the American League wild cards. I'll agree on Minnesota, but I will not agree on Boston. I got the New York Yankees winning the other wild card. I got the Red Sox winning the AL East because they have the team to do it. Now, that's the American League. Let's talk about the National League for just a minute. Now, the National League East, this one, my friends, is a no-brainer. The Washington Nationals are going to run away with the National League East like they have the last 2 years. And also, too, the Nationals got 2 key additions. They got Jake Arrieta from the Cubs, and they also got Carlos Santana from the Mets. Those two right there were key additions to a very big roster for the Washington Nationals. And they got young talent in Royce Hawkins, Scott Kingery, J.P. Crawford, and Jorge Alfaro. Jorge Alfaro. Sorry about that. My writing's a little hard to read. I just had to make sure everything was correct. But anyway, the two key additions of Arrieta and Santana, those are huge for a lot of reasons. Arrieta, he's been in the World Series before with the Chicago Cubs back in 2016. He knows how to get the job done. I've seen him pitch. I've seen him pitch against the Indians in the World Series 2 years ago. He can do a lot of damage. So, the Nationals are going to be the team. They're going to run away with the National League East like they have the last 2 years. And then they got Arrieta and Santana. Those two key additions will put the Washington Nationals in the playoffs and give them a third straight NL East division crown. You can almost go to the bank on that. Now, the National League Central. I'm going to move on to the Central for just a minute. The National League Central, I am taking the Chicago Cubs. But don't count the Milwaukee Brewers out. Last year, if you remember right, last year, the Brewers were leading the division for 69 days last year, and they missed the playoffs. Now, the Brewers have a chance because they got Lorenzo Cain and Christian Yelich. Lorenzo Cain came from the Kansas City Royals. Now, those two additions for the Brewers are going to give the Brewers a chance to compete with the Chicago Cubs this year in the National League Central. So if you think the Cubs are going to run away with it, I wouldn't quite go to the bank on that this year. And here's why. The Cubs 2 years ago, they had everything. Then in 2017, Dexter Fowler went to St. Louis. They lost Dexter Fowler to the St. Louis Cardinals. The Cubs last year were not the same Cubs that we saw 2 years ago in the World Series against the Indians. They lost the NLCS in 5 last year to the Dodgers. So, I'm going to stick with the Cubs for now to win the National League Central. But you better watch out for the Milwaukee Brewers, because the Brewers will make some noise this year. You can go to the bank on that. And now, for the National League West, I am going to go with the defending National League champion, Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, the Dodgers do have Evan Longoria and Andrew McCutchen. If those two can hit, if they can do a lot of damage for the Dodgers are going to win the division. There's no doubt about it. However, don't count the Arizona Diamondbacks out. The reason why I'm saying that is very simple. They have a great 5-man rotation. However, Zach Greinke's pitching is subpar. Can sometimes be subpar at best. However, they got some good hitting too. So, don't count the Arizona Diamondbacks out. But I am going to stick with the Dodgers to win the National League West. But keep the Arizona Diamondbacks in the back of your mind, because they may make some noise in the National League West this year. There's no doubt about it. Now, as far as National League wild card goes, a lot of people are saying the Brewers and the Rockies. I will agree with the Milwaukee Brewers getting one of the National League wild cards, but I cannot agree on the other one. I will go with the Arizona Diamondbacks getting the other one, getting the other National League wild card, because I don't think the Rockies are as good as they used to be in the past. So, I think it's going to be the Brewers and the Diamondbacks playing in the National League wild card. And that's all there is to it. Because the Diamondbacks have Zach Greinke, they have hitting. The Rockies can sometimes be subpar at best, at time to time. Now, as far as National and American League pennants go, a lot of people are picking the Chicago Cubs to win the National League pennant. I cannot agree. I am really on the fence with that now. A lot of people are picking the Cubs. However, I am taking the Washington Nationals to win the National League East. And here's why. They got Lorenzo Cain. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on here. Let me see. All right, here. Yeah, no. The Nationals got Jake Arrieta and Carlos Santana. 2 key additions. So I am picking the Washington Nationals to win the National League pennant. Because they got Arrieta, they got Santana, and they can do a lot of damage. And I can see a lot of things happening there. Now, as far as the American League goes, the American League pennant is going to be won by the New York Yankees. I am a little bit on the fence with that. Now, yes, the Yankees have hitting, they have Aaron Judge, they have good pitching. However, the Cleveland Indians, they can really do a lot of damage. So I am going to go with the Cleveland Indians winning the American League pennant. Because Terry Francona, manager Terry Francona, he's got the team to do it. So I'm going to go with the Indians winning the American League pennant. In my prediction for the World Series, I am going to go with the Cleveland Indians this year. There may be a lot of lines being made. There may be a lot of people may be changing their mind down the road. But the Cleveland Indians are going to will win the World Series this year. That is my prediction. We were there 2 years ago. We lost in 7. Last year we had the best record in the American League. We went out first round. So my prediction: the Cleveland Indians are going to win the World Series. I'm not going to give you how many games because it's way too early for that. So my thinking is, we may have a good fall classic between the Nationals and the Indians if it happens. I know the season hasn't started yet, but this is just something to think about. This is not gospel. This is just something you might want to consider and just think about going down the road when the season starts on Thursday. Well, folks, I want to thank all of you folks for tuning in here on YouTube this morning. I want to thank all of you guys for tuning in. My name is Scott Manning. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's just Scott Manning. It's just very simple. It's just my name. You don't have to look for any special name or anything like that. My name is Scott Manning. It's a very simple YouTube channel. Please subscribe, and I want to thank all of you guys for tuning in today. You guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Goodbye, everybody, and thank you.